The landscape of late-night television was abruptly altered this week. ABC made the unprecedented decision to suspend Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely. The move came in the wake of a national tragedy, and the ensuing controversy surrounded comments made by the show's host, Jimmy Kimmel. The suspension wasn't a singular event but the culmination of immense pressure, major broadcast station owners, federal regulators, and a deeply polarized public. Here's how it all unfolded. It began with the tragic shooting of a prominent conservative figure, Charlie Kirk. He was 31 years old, and the founder of Turning Point USA. Kirk was polarizing, yet influential. His killing sent shockwaves through the nation. It sparked fierce debates about political rhetoric and violence. Within that highly charged atmosphere, Jimmy Kimmel delivered a monologue that changed everything. His remarks attempted to link the suspected shooter to a specific political movement. The tragic event that set this entire crisis in motion occurred on September 10, 2025 at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Charlie Kirk was on campus for a scheduled speaking engagement, a common activity for the founder of Turning Point USA, who frequently addressed students across the country. The event was being held outdoors, and that detail would become tragically significant. According to law enforcement reports, the assailant did not confront Kirk directly on the ground but instead executed a planned attack from an elevated position. This calculated method underscored the premeditated nature of the crime, immediately elevating the incident to a matter of national security concern and prompting a massive law enforcement response. Authorities later detailed the suspect's movements on that fateful day. At approximately 11:52 a.m., the individual arrived on the Orem campus. Rather than proceeding toward the crowd or the stage, he navigated through the stairwells of a nearby building, making his way to the roof. This vantage point gave him a clear line of sight to the event area below. From this position he fired down, fatally striking the 31-year-old conservative activist. The attack was swift and precise, causing panic and chaos as attendees scrambled for safety. The shooter managed to escape the scene in the immediate aftermath, triggering an intense and widespread manhunt. On the evening of Monday, September 15, 2025, just 5 days after the tragic shooting of Charlie Kirk, Jimmy Kimmel addressed the incident in his opening monologue on Jimmy Kimmel Live. In a segment that would ultimately lead to the suspension of his show, Kimmel veered from expressing condolences to speculating on the political motivations of the suspect, Tyler Robinson. The host, known for his sharp political commentary and frequent criticism of former President Trump and his supporters, suggested that Robinson was aligned with the very movement Kirk championed. The assertion ignited immediate and fierce backlash from viewers and critics. Kimmel's specific words drew the most intense condemnation. He looked directly into the camera and stated, "The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them." Many saw this as a baseless, inflammatory accusation implicating a political group. At a time when the nation was grappling with the shock of a political assassination, Kimmel's attempt to assign collective blame was seen as profoundly divisive and irresponsible, especially as law enforcement had not yet publicly attributed a political affiliation. The backlash against Jimmy Kimmel's monologue escalated rapidly from online outrage to serious corporate action. Before ABC or even Disney major broadcast station owners decided to take matters into their own hands. They own and operate hundreds of local ABC affiliate stations responsible for getting the network's programming into households nationwide. Their decision to unilaterally pull Jimmy Kimmel Live from their schedules was a powerful, unprecedented rebellion. It signaled a deep fracture in the broadcast ecosystem. Nexstar Media Group, one of the largest owners of local television stations, was among the first to act. The company put out a forceful public statement. Andrew Alford said, "Mr. Kimmel's comments are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse." This was quickly followed by Sinclair Broadcast Group. Known for distinct political leanings, Sinclair declared it would pull the show from all its ABC-affiliated stations. The company said it would stop airing Jimmy Kimmel's show until further notice, citing the controversial nature of the host's remarks. Jimmy Kimmel Live became unavailable in a significant portion of the country, crippling the show's reach and advertising value. The crisis deepened significantly when the federal government stepped in. The pressure on ABC ramped up after public comments from Brendan Carr, the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission. The FCC regulates broadcast television and holds the power to grant and revoke station licenses. In a podcast interview, Carr issued a thinly veiled threat not just to ABC but to its affiliate stations. He warned stations should push back on the network and cautioned about potential license revocation from the FCC if content becomes a pattern of news distortion. This statement from the head of the FCC sent a chill through the broadcasting industry. The prospect of losing a broadcast license is one of the harshest regulatory threats. The stakes rose further when former President Donald Trump weighed in. On Truth Social, Trump posted, "Great news for America." That statement amplified the partisan framing, portraying the suspension as a culture war victory. Under that pressure, ABC announced it was pulling Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely. Sources clarified the host has not been fired. Disney executives plan to meet with Kimmel for now. The future of Jimmy Kimmel Live hangs in the balance, a high-profile casualty at the crossroads of politics, media, and tragedy.